Do my eyes deceive me? No, they don't. The Algeria squad is yet again finally out. We should play a game called How Bloody Late Is It Going to Be When the Squad Drops? Literally, like, England have already planned their squad probably for November, and Algeria hadn't released theirs yet. They think, I know, we'll drop it at Algeria time, 10 to midnight. To what? To not have a big backlash? I don't know, but international break feels like it's nearly over and the squad wasn't out yet. But Algeria had finally announced their 25-man squad to face Cape Verde and Egypt. And we're going to pick it apart in a good way and in a bad way to see these names, because we wanted to see, well, I wanted to see some consistency. I wanted to see Belloumi stop this chop and change and trying players. That's all well and good before. But now there's 3 months to go until the competition, the Africa Cup of Nations, and we kind of want to know who the 25 is going to be. And then within that, who the starting 11 is going to be. It's all well and good knowing what the squad's going to be, but actually now, looking at the squad and then working out what the starting 11 is going to be. So I would say a lot of the players in this squad are going to be in this squad to go to the Africa Cup of Nations. And there's probably a few on the fringes, some due to injuries to other players, and some to have a look at as maybe a potential wild card. As to who's going to go to that tournament. So let's start off. The 3 goalkeepers, I think we're pretty clear now. It's the same 3 goalkeepers as last time. Mandrea is going to be the number 1. Zugba is going to be the number 2. And Ben Boot is going to be the number 3. There was some talk maybe we could see in the future. Rice and Bolhi, of course, he'll be playing with CRB. He'll be playing CAF Champions League football. And he'll be playing in Algeria. Like Ben Boot, he's going to be playing over Alexis Gendouzi in goal for Belouizdad. So if he plays well in that CAF Champions League, I don't think Belloumi cares too much about the domestic league. Wouldn't be surprised if Rice and Bolhi went as a 3rd keeper. But as for now, considering Mandrea and Zugba are going to be ahead of him, I think those 3 are probably going to be the 3 that go to the competition. Then the defence, again, I think it's the exact same defence as the squad last month. So I think, assuming Yusuf Artal is fit, he'll go to the tournament. Obviously, Van den Kerkhoff is deemed as the backup now playing in Liga. I think if anything happens to Artal, Belloumi will do one of 2 things. He'll either go and play Mehdi Laris at right back and call him up, or he'll strongly consider Mitchell Weiser. But I can only see Weiser happening if Yusuf Artal picks up an injury. Left back, Ryan Ait-Nouri when fit. He's been really, really good in the past few games in the Premier League. You only have to look at the recent game against Man City where Wolves beat them. He's going to be in. Lucif, I don't know why Lucif is here. He didn't kick a football in the last international break. Now, I suspect that's because Belloumi doesn't deem taking Lucif to the AFCON. I think he's literally just here if anything was to happen, Ait-Nouri. I think Larouci hasn't played enough football, and maybe the admin has only just been done for him to become an Algeria international, but that has been confirmed. And also, Hadjam at Nantes is not playing any football, which could be a concern going forwards as the tournament gets closer. So I think Ait-Nouri will be the first choice. Of course, Ben Sebaini can play there as well if need be. But he's the key centre-half. And the centre-backs are all the same. Ben Sebaini, Touba now playing for Lecce in Serie A. Tugay and Issa Mandi. No, Zinedine Belid. I don't think you can really argue with those 4 centre-halves. Unless anything happens to them, they're going to be the 4 that go. So we've got a good idea about the keepers and the defence. The midfield even. It's the exact same midfield as the last squad. So Gouiri obviously has done more than enough, despite his age, and rightly so. He was brilliant against Senegal to keep his place in the squad. So Sofiane Gouiri is still in. Zerouki played very, very well in the Champions League against Atletico. I know they lost, but really, really good. Made so many interceptions, tackles, looked confident. That's going to boost his confidence, and top-level tournament football will be good for Zerouki going into this. This won't be his first AFCON now, it'll be his 2nd tournament. Awar, fit. Obviously, was in the last squad, had to withdraw due to injury. Shaibi is in here as a midfielder. I think he works much better as an 8 or a 10. We saw him on the left wing, didn't really work. So I suppose he counts as a central midfield player. Now, Boudaoui, I think, might go. Kadri, I like a lot. Zorgan, you've got to remember, this is Zorgan, Kadri, and Boudaoui are playing for their place essentially, because you've got Benassa will take one of those midfield places when fit. If fit, by the way, if fit. If he makes it, inshallah. One of these is going to go. So Benassa may be over Zorgan, and Yassine Adli, if that gets all done and dusted, would probably go over one of those 2 as well. I mean, he's playing for AC Milan, for God's sake. He should be here, really. So those sorts of players are playing for their squad. I can see why Belloumi stuck to it. You can't call Benassi, he's injured. And obviously Adli only just started playing football. So Organ has to impress now. Because if he doesn't, then I think Kadri's above him. And they're both playing in Belgium, so who's to say not? And I still think Belmadi doesn't favour Badawi that much. He likes Zarouki a lot. He likes Shaibi a lot. He likes Awar. He likes Faguli certainly a lot. So, and also Gouiri is now playing again at the same club in Algeria as Rice and Mulhi. If he was to impress, wouldn't surprise me if he gave him a last-ditch call-up. But the new faces, there are 2 new faces, and there's one very familiar face in this attack. So Riyad Mahrez, obviously the captain, always going to be in. Great win for Al Ahly in their recent game against Al Ittihad in the Jeddah derby. On the right-hand side, Bouatnani, the backup to Mahrez on that right. I think those 2 are shoo-ins. Although Rashid Ghazel, not in here, did assist in the Conference League the other night. Ghazel could work his way back into the squad with good performances. It wouldn't surprise me. Remember, he did the cross for the Tuba goal in the Cameroon game. Rashid Ghazel could maybe work his way back into the squad, depending on how he looks. You've got Ben Rahma on that left-hand side at West Ham. Not too surprised about that. Here's where it gets interesting. Amine Gouiri, or Gouiri, however you want to say it, right? The Ren forward. He can play on the left, he can play up top. Welcome to the club, son. You're in. We're going to see, for the first time ever, and the amount of times I've banged on about this and people said no chance, opportunist, Ait-Nouri, Awar and Gouiri in the same Algeria squad for the first time ever. Goodness me, getting excited thinking about it. So that is very exciting. We've got Amora in that attack as well. We saw him play, I think he played really well at Anfield. I know he didn't really create too many shots and didn't score, of course, but he looks a talent. And he's playing against good defenders. He's playing against Alexander-Arnold in the first half. So that's exciting. Bachir Belloumi, the son of the great Algeria legend, Lakhdar Belloumi, who's playing in Farense in Portugal. He's got goals this season. He's got assists this season from the wing. The son of the legend Belloumi is in the squad. Now, this is a real wild card. You've got Zurgan and Belloumi, so that's 2 sons of legends there from the late 80s, early 90s in the squad. But he's played well in Portugal, so there's no reason why not to pick him. But look who he's picked him over. He's picked him over the likes of Bilal Brahimi, who hasn't played enough football. Yassine Brahimi has played very well. I'm surprised if you're going to put Belloumi in. Kind of shuts the door on Yassine Brahimi, really. The outcry for Youssouf Belaili to come back, and I know he started the season well at Mouridi in Algeria, in the Algerian league, but it's not a great level. I mean, you saw how many goals Mahious would be scoring in that league. He'd be the top scorer. Look what happens when Mahious plays with the national team. He's not even in the squad, Mahious, and he's scoring in Switzerland. So don't be fooled by Belaili. There's only one more squad announcement to come in November before the squad for AFCON. It's going to take a big shift for Belaili to come back, unless he uses that spot over Belloumi to bring him back. I personally would not take Youssouf Belaili to the AFCON. How many times has Belaili let Algeria down? He's all interested in sniffing and smoking stuff, right? When it comes to the nitty-gritty, he missed the pen in the shootout against Ivory Coast, which almost cost us. So luckily, Seri Die missed after hit the same post. The Arab Cup semi-final, missed the pen. I know he scored the rebound, but again, that was a big pressure moment he missed. And then the Cameroon second leg, he missed an absolute sitter in the first half. All of that nonsense would never have happened if he'd scored that absolute... He didn't hit the target, so... No. Playing in Algeria, for God's sake. We're not going to win the AFCON with him at the left. I'll tell you that now. So I've got absolutely no issue at all with the absence of Youssouf Belaili. If we get wingers, particularly left wingers, with injuries, it's a different conversation. But for me, I'd have Yassine Brahimi at this moment in time, who's got more goals, more assists over him, if you're going to have that sort of conversation. And they're similar ages. So Bachir Belloumi will be an interesting one, and also he'll be getting to know the players, linking up with them, finding out their strengths. And then, we said there's no Mahious, there's no Baghdad Bounedjah, but at 35 years of age, right, Islam Slimani, and arguably deservedly so, I bet he's fuming, he's now got to fly from Brazil to the United Arab Emirates, because Slimani at 35 has worked his way back into the bloody squad. I know what you're thinking, what's going on here? The problem is, you can't argue against it. Bounedjah has been in and out of the Al Sadd team. At Curitiba, the worst team in Brazil, I think they're bottom, has been scoring goals, getting an assist. He's looked alright when he's played. So you're thinking, playing in Brazil, it's a good level. Arguably, you'd say the Brazilian league surely a higher level than a Qatari league. Slimani's in, so I wasn't expecting it, but I ain't got an issue with it. It ain't going to start. It's all about Gouiri and Amora for me up top, and obviously Slimani there. Imagine what he's going to teach off the pitch to some of those younger players, and perhaps that's the case for having a Rice and Bulhi back as a third keeper. But obviously you've got the likes of Ben Taleb out injured, Adamul Nurse out injured, Gazelle coming back to full fitness. There'll be some big choices to make coming forward if these players start giving Belmondi a headache. So that is the Algeria squad. It will face Cape Verde and it will face Egypt. We could have a really spicy front three. You could play Gouiri, Amora, Benrahma and Mahrez if you wanted to. Shaibi can throw in there. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? What a game it's going to be against Egypt. But the homecoming of Gouiri, hopefully. I don't want to see rotation in game one and the main team in game two. I want to see Belmondi work out his best team. Play your best team, or what you think is your best team in both games. And then when that tournament comes, we should be able to know what the starting 11 is going into the game, rather than panicking and seeing ridiculously different lineups in all three group games, which ultimately cost us in the Cameroon tournament. So there's the Algeria squad. Lots to look forward to. Slimani back as a headline, I suppose, with Gouiri and Belloumi called up for the first time. No Larousse yet, no Adli, no Weiser, but we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more. I'll see you next time.